Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Run it, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been better. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket. Yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits. Yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins. Yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen. Putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman. Y'all better not let them in, they gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling. Started a chain, the cycle is heaven sent. This is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my brain, watch I step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch how I touch down, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no wins, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my. Yeah.
Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair, took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. How much the gang we packing? We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas key. You with me.
got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They've been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mafia, the market gave us what we wanted, although not very common. I always say every single time you want something to happen in the market, sometimes they'll spit in your face. But it turns out we came down to our $105,000 zone, sitting at that value area high / daily horizontal level. Now, this does run down to about 104 to 103K as well. But as we got the dump to the downside, we shorted right at about, what was it, $109,000, 110, I think it was 110, 900, something like that. We got that ride to the downside, looking to finally tap our key target that we are sitting at right now. What is to come next? Are we going to get the bounce that most people would hope for? We'll talk about it. I'm going to break down all the key levels. We'll break down Market Cypher B. And shout out to anybody who watched the live stream last night as we were looking for a bounce at our value area low. We saw that 4-hour money flow coming out. We were looking for a lower high and a lower low to potentially come down to 105K. And here we are. So we're going to break down the charts for you guys. I'm going to show you all the key levels. We'll take a look at Market Cypher B. We'll talk about the signals, bearish signals, bullish signals, and what is next to likely come here on Bitcoin. So shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here and spending your precious time with your boy Frankie Candles and the CandleMafia. Let's see, we got Gen Z in the chat, said price action wonky AF. Yeah, hopefully, shout out to Gen Z. Hopefully I can clear things up here on the live stream for you, bro. But welcome in. We got Cole in the chat. What is going on? Said based on this, I want to spot buy. Shout out to Cole. We'll talk about that possibility as well. Shout out to Vegas Call, bro. Vegas call, you're killing me with the Frankie Candles jokes. Frankie Candles the type of guy to rev a Tesla in a tunnel, bro. You kill me with these jokes. They're like the Drake memes. Shout out to Vegas call. We got Jesse, our like police, in the chat, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto. Or if we hit 1,000 likes, or maybe even, we'll go for 750. If we hit 750 likes on tonight's live stream, we'll give away some Frankie Candles hats on tomorrow's live stream. Let's see. We got Anthony in the chat. Shout out to Anthony. What is going on? He said, yo, Frank, what's good? He just said, yo, what's Frank? I added the what's good. But shout out to Anthony. Welcome in, bro. We got Zexo in the chat said, Frankie to go. Did anybody hear that? Is Phoebe here? Oh, it's coming out of my headphones. Shout out to you, bro. We got Phoebe in the chat. We got Wick's wife, Fine89, and Wick589. Shout out to you guys. Welcome in. Good to see you here. We got Tyler Durden. Darren Does Things. Rob the Crypto Snob. We got the mods in the chat, guys. Shout them out and show them some love if you love them as much as we do. And we got Dave Digital. Shout out to Dave Digital. Welcome in, bro. Always happy to have you here. Let's see. Zexo says, go, go, go. Let's go, baby. Does it look bullish to me? Yeah, shout out to Lusha. I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm expecting next year. Although we are hitting key support, guys, it does not mean we cannot break lower. We have to look at the money flow and understand the context of the market. So without further ado, smash that like button, guys, and we're going to go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, here we are. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to Shensi, bro. Oh, God. Chat already going wild here. Finally retesting 105.8. Yeah, as you guys know, let's take a look here at the charts. Now, as you guys know, we have been waiting for this blue box to get hit for quite some time, guys. To be quite honest with you, we had our short setup here in the premium Discord from the high. And obviously, you're never going to be able to guess exactly what price action is going to look like. But we understood we had that bearish signals at the top. We look for the drop to the downside, and that final take profit for that short position was obviously sitting here at the golden pocket. That has now finally played out in full after quite a wild ride, but we have finally seen that come back down to final TP, and I actually got stopped out at break even up here, unfortunately, so I did have to re-enter my short here, and I am still holding that short position here. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. I am still holding the short position. Pull it up over here on Femex, up about almost $3,000. So we're still holding this, guys. My stop loss is now in profit, and I'm going to continue to push my stop loss down. If we do continue to lower prices, I will continue to drag my stop loss into profit deeper and deeper and deeper. In case we do get a bigger drop, I don't want to miss out on that opportunity, but I also want to protect myself in case price does decide to wiggle back up here and then stop us out. Funny enough, I just got like a little bit nervous when I crossed this line. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to stop myself out. But yeah, I do want to protect myself in case we do get a push up from this level. I want to, keep the opportunity to continue to profit on that short position. But if we do get the bounce, obviously we will get stopped out at break even. I've already taken some profits, and then I'll grab a little bit more profit here as my stop loss is now in profit. As we look at this, guys, finally coming down to hit that $105,000 target. As you guys know, I was kind of a little bit weary of this happening because this was my ideal situation, was to come down to that 105K level. I know this bounce got pretty interesting. Everyone's like, oh my God, all-time high. We were playing around with our previous all-time high. There it is, sitting at 109,880. This is where I re-entered my short. As I said, I got stopped out at break even up here, so I did want to re-enter in case we did make it down to that 105K level, and here we are. As we were losing that previous all-time high here, guys, this was the biggest level to get above, and I mean, to be quite honest, still is, right? Really, we got to get back up. Once we start flipping that previous all-time high to support, that is pretty much what I'm going to be looking at to call for new all-time highs. But now we are sitting all the way back down here. Now, is this bear? Is this super bearish? Are we going to get a huge move to the downside? Is it over for Bitcoin? Is the bull market over? I don't necessarily think so. Obviously, this is the first. We are just kind of tapped into that previous macro value area high. And the reason this level is so important, guys, is because obviously, as I just said, it is the macro value area high of our range. We also do have a daily horizontal level sitting just below that. We barely front ran that level here. It is sitting at about $105,572. And again, this is going to be a bit of a zone. And I want to talk about kind of how we anticipated this lower high on last night's live stream, all based off money flow. But before we do that, I kind of want to cover what is going on here as we tap into this level now. We do obviously, as we push into this level, have a lower low on price action, and we are potentially looking to print some bullish divergences here, and we already are printing some bull divs here. We do have the 1 hour bull div printing. You can't really see it because of that line, but we do have the higher low on our momentum wave here on the 1 hour green dot printing. So we do have the bull div printing here on the 1 hour into this key level. So I would say it's not impossible to get a bounce off of this level, right? I mean, golden pocket, value area high. We didn't tap the daily, but, this is a pretty confluent level of support. And, not possible to bounce here, guys. However, if you take a look at your money flow here, money flow is directly going against us here, right? So this isn't like the most confluent. There's not like much confluence here for a massive push to the upside, only because the money flow is still crossed over into the red here on the 1 hour. And we all know money flow indicates the longer term trend for Bitcoin. And obviously, if this money flow is in the red, we could potentially anticipate lower highs and lower lows. Again, it's not that we can't bounce here, but I am a little bit wary here as that money flow is going against us. That's another reason why I am still willing to hold my short position. If this looked like a mega bullish setup, and I want to be clear here, it doesn't mean that you can't bounce hard off this level. But again, we have to use our technical analysis and understand like when it is a very high probability move to the upside, or if it is going to be somewhat low probability, right? And I would say with that money flow crossing over not only on the 1 hour, but also, guys, as we looked at last night, we were seeing this 4 hour red green dot looking to print, and we literally talked about this, exactly what happened here. We were looking for a potential push to the upside here, but when we look at that, money flow was coming to the downside on the 4 hour, making it the more likely situation a lower high and a lower low on price action. Now, where did that lower high come in at? We did pull our local Fibonacci retracement. We had our golden pocket 786 sitting right here. That is the highest probability area to put in the continuation of the lower high to continue your downtrend, to then break structure to the downside and come down to that $105,000 level. And here we are, absolutely perfectly capitalizing on that short position. And again, I just, it's not that we can't bounce here. I just, also, not only is the 1 hour money flow crossing over into the red, but we also have the 4 hour money flow crossing over into the red as well, which means even if we do get the bounce off the 1 hour bull div, hopefully, right, for our spot bags, hopefully we do just kind of rip up out of here. However, with the money flow crossing into the red, again, we have to anticipate something similar here with a potential push to the upside, a lower high and a lower low. Now, where would that lower high likely come in at if we are going to get it? There's a couple of places that we can look. Number one, I would just go ahead and pull our retracement from that high that we made yesterday to the low here. And, this Fibonacci retracement does sit between about 107.6 and about 108.2. Could also potentially pull that to this little lower high that we made right here. And then this zone is sitting between about 106.9 to 107K. And then that 786 sits at about $107,332. And there we are, getting a little bit more of a bounce here. But again, it doesn't mean, doesn't mean we can't bounce, but we have to understand that money flow, I'll be honest, it's kind of mixed down here because if we look at the lower time frames, 15-minute money flow not looking the best, but if we come on down here to these lower time frames, 7-minute money flow attempting to come up, 5-minute money flow looking to cross over into the green, and if you have that 5-minute money flow crossover into the green with an 80-minute green dot, and on top of that, that is a little bit of a bullish divergence, right? So you have the higher lows on your momentum waves, lower lows on price into a key level of resistance. Once that green dot prints, if we can get that 5-minute money flow to cross over into the green, it could give us the continuation locally of that trend to the upside. But again, I am going to be careful. Just like yesterday, we were careful around this level at about 108,900 for the lower high to come in. We do have to be careful around these next Fibonacci levels for potential lower highs and lower lows, because if that money flow on the higher time frames is going to give us the continuation to the downside, I would say the most high probability levels for those lower highs to come in at is going to be sitting right here. And I'll just kind of put these on the chart so I can get a quick little numerical number here. 107,339 to 106,945. That's kind of the first aggressive zone to put in a lower high. And then if we break above that, I will be looking at about 107. Actually, let me pull that box back up. Drag it on over here. And then I'll just extend it between about 108,183 to about 107,614. So again, if we're going to put in lower highs, those are the levels to be looking at, either, again, the first fib or the second fib. And, once we start breaking above that, maybe we could potentially start anticipating, if we pull up our local levels here, you guys can see, once we start breaking above that 786, the second or the higher 786, actually, hang on. Let me re-pull that. Whoops. Bada boom. So we pull it from the high to the low, right? Once we start cracking above that 786, we could potentially anticipate that point of control to come in. And then once we flip above that point of control, we could look for the push up to the value area high. And at the end of the day, guys, the key level for all-time highs, if we're talking about a big move to the upside, is still in my opinion, going to be, there's actually two levels I'm going to look at. I'm going to pull from the high to the low here. Golden pockets, this 786 at about 110.8, right? This is almost the same exact level we looked at yesterday. This 786, about 110,800, is really the zone to get above, because once we get above that 786, I am going to be looking for new all-time highs, and that's pretty much the same level we've been looking at. But until then, right, we're just going to look. Again, I really don't love the money flow down here, to be quite honest. But if we did, for some reason, get the big push to the upside, I would still be looking for this to be the big level to get above in order to call for all-time highs. At that point, you're above the previous all-time high at 109,900, and then you're also above the macro 786. And let me see where this fib comes in as well, from the local high to the low. Yeah, you can see we really just got to get out of that value area. And when it comes to the volume profiles, guys, if I am not long down here just yet, for the reasons I just mentioned with money flow. If I did take a long down here, again, it's not that we couldn't bounce, but I would be treating it. Again, I'm not long, but if I were, I would have, hoped for, I would have looked to get in very low, right? And then I again, would just be very, very careful on the way up with the lack of confirmations, right? Or confluence, I should say. But if we were able to shoot back into that value area, we will just treat this as a typical volume profile, flip above the low, look to go into the POC, flip the POC, go to the high, and then as we deviate above this value area high, that is, well, hey, we'd be above the previous all-time high, and then that 786 at about 110,800 is going to be the big level to break to come into new all-time highs. But again, it's kind of hard down here, to be quite honest with you guys, right? We have the bull dips. It's really just the money flow on the medium hourly time frames that is not confluent here. Now, if we come on over to the higher time frames here on Market Cipher B, again, for a bigger move to the upside, I really would like to see that VWAP on the daily start to curve to the upside, which we don't have as of right now. And then we also have the higher time frame red dots printing sitting here on the 4-day red dot is printing, 5-day red dot is looking to print, and then we have the 6-day and the weekly also with those VWAPs coming towards the zero line, which obviously could cause a little bit more of a spill to the downside. So as of right now, again, I want to be very clear. Sure, you could get some kind of a really strong bounce off of this and just come into new all-time highs potentially, but with the way money flow looks, again, just like yesterday, right? We had that 4-hour money flow coming out. We anticipate the bounce. It's like, oh my God, I thought we were bearish. What's going on, right? But we understand because money flow, that green dot could give us a little push to the upside for that lower high and the lower low to come in. So I just have to stick with the strategies here, stick with the TA, and if that TA is wrong, we will just reassess the situation. I'll stop out of my short in profit, and then we can just look for new long entries as the new price action develops. Now, if we do not get the big bounce here, and we do come in, put in the lower high and the lower low. This zone is to about 104,100. I guess the 786 is technically sitting at 104. Where is it? Come on. I'm going to have to hide the candles here, guys. I don't do this very often, but let's go ahead and get rid of those candles. $104,178 is where that 786 comes down to. So, again, if we do not hold that golden pocket, let's say we don't get the bigger bounce to the upside, we just roll over, get stuck under the golden pocket, I will be looking for a move deeper down here towards that 786, which does bring us near our previous scalp range that we have been looking at for quite some time. Where is that scalp range? Bada boom, right? That 786 is also confluent with our local value area high right here. So, these are kind of two separate levels, right? This is kind of level number one. Level number two would really be sitting down here. Down here towards the value area high, 786 Fibonacci retracement. So lose the golden pocket. I am going to be looking for a push into that 786. And I will say this as well, guys. Let me grab that brush. Give me that dang thing. Yeah, that is really going to be the next. And now, if we break down below this, as I said, guys, in the most bullish case, I really would have preferred to see the money flow come up as we test this value area high, because as we've talked about many and many times in the past, if we get back down in here, sure, we could get the bounce off the 786. This wouldn't make me like super macro bearish yet. But at that point, right, as we've been talking about, if you get the bounce off the 786, you just have to understand that you are going to be coming into that macro value area high, which is an extremely, not only a strong level of resistance, but from a context standpoint, a very important level of resistance to get above. Because if we come down here and we get stuck under that value area high, the move to the downside could become much, much more aggressive, where we have some last lines of defense down here. But if we do wind up not holding this, these lows down here closer to 100, I would say 100,800, that's kind of, well, hey, you could start to look at this as a volume profile and say to yourself, well, we got that back into the value area, below the value area high. We could not get above. And then at that point, right, from a volume profile perspective, you're really going to be anticipating a bigger drop down potentially to $96,000 to $97,000. Now, this is not me calling for $96,000 to $97,000. I mean, heck, right now we are bouncing off that golden pocket value area high, which hopefully is going to be, even though we don't have the confirmations here, we would hope for the more aggressive bullish scenario that we could get a strong bounce from that level. Because again, it's not that you can't, if you don't bounce off the golden pocket, you could definitely bounce off the 786, but it just makes it a difficult scenario because you're below macro resistance. And then just the idea of the general volume profile theory is if you can't get back above that value area high, it does increase the chances very likely that you will visit the POC at some point soon. Now, the only thing, in my opinion, if we don't hold that 786, the last level that I will be looking at is the same level we looked at on yesterday's live stream, which is the daily naked point of control sitting at about $103,884, which is also, let me actually see something here. Let me pull this to our current price action real quick. Yeah, value area low kind of stays the same. Could potentially, I don't really love looking at volume profiles when there's not a clean range, but you can see here, even from this context, you break down below the value area high, you reject, and then at that point, you could be anticipating that 786 POC. Yeah, it just becomes a much more difficult situation once we get below that macro value area high, if I'm being totally honest, guys. So again, I'm going to kind of let price action settle here. Maybe if we flip this value area high to support, and money flow shapes up, maybe we create a lower time frame kind of consolidation here. We kind of bing bong around. And then if we can get that money flow to come up on the medium hourly time frames and hold that value area high as support, maybe it will look a little better, but we're going to have to let the price action develop there. But again, this is the same thing we've been looking at kind of all week, right? On the live streams, just kind of talking about, getting below that value area high. It doesn't make it super bearish necessarily, but it just makes it a difficult long position to take down here. And you do have to start to be careful with those longs as you push into resistance, right? And then again, last level of resistance is going to be, or last level of support, daily naked point of control, 103,084, which is somewhat in confluence with that value area low. And then on top of that, yesterday we did look at the 786 if you pull it from the bottom of this range, is perfectly confluent with that daily naked point of control. And if I take this range off the chart so it's not as confusing, at that point, right, if we're going to pull this from the swing low to the swing high, at that point, right, you're hoping to hold a higher low, if not on this golden pocket, the $105,000 to $104,000 zone, you lose that level. You're hoping the higher low comes in here at the daily naked point of control 786 to continue your uptrend, because once you start losing this level decisively, in my opinion, it is going to be a bit more likely to come down towards that point of control at 96 to 97K. Again, just looking at the volume profile theory, getting stuck under that value area high is not the most bullish scenario I've ever seen. So, we're going to have to play that level to level, but nice to see that, even though the market does not like to give you what you want all the time, it is very, very, very nice to see. Let me just get this daily naked point of control as it is tapped. We'll take this. Actually, I'm going to leave this and just label it as tapped. But it is nice to see the market finally give us what we wanted, which again is not always very common. But we stuck to that TA. We understood the 4-hour money flow was coming out yesterday, and it was probable for that lower high and lower low to come in. So we'll see. Maybe if we can hold above this value area high, we can get a little bit more of a bounce. Got your 24-minute money flow starting to cross over into the green. Yeah, your 8-hour VWAP is just not really curving up just yet, so you don't really have confluence there. 30-minute money flow attempting to come into the green as well. So yeah, I would just be careful for potential lower highs and lower lows here to come in on Bitcoin if we do get the bounce to the upside. I would say the invalidation for the lower high and lower low would just be to look at this local volume profile above. Once you start cracking above that POC, I would be looking to come up to the value area high, and then as you push into that value area high, you're getting very close to the levels that would likely send you into new all-time highs. Flip that 110.8 level, and we could be looking back up to new all-time highs. But right now, we got to move to the downside. We made the money on the short position, and just remember, this is a zone, so we can push a little bit deeper. But in the most bullish scenario, if money flow is coming up here right now, guys, on the 1 hour, if we have the 1 hour bull div, let me pull this up. Just for instance, if we had the 1 hour bull div here and money flow was crossing into the green, right, and we were just getting a perfect crossover into the green with a bullish divergence, I would 100% be saying, oh baby, that looks good. But we just do have a couple things going against us here. 1 hour money flow and that 4 hour money flow makes me a little bit suspicious. But I do think either way, we could get a little bit of a bounce here from that key support zone with the bullish divergences. But remember, money flow indicates the longer term trend. And just like yesterday, we anticipated the move up, but in the continuation of the overall downtrend. So there we go. Let me come in and check in on chat real quick. Let's see. We got Mark Dutch in the chat. What is going on, bro? We got Shirley Sound in the chat. CandleMafia's John Cena. Let's go, baby. Let's see. Bada boom. Probably 2 months of sideways trading following this. Could be. I mean, potentially. Yeah, all I hope, guys, and again, like, even if we do come a bit deeper, guys, like, this is still a pretty clear uptrend in my opinion. And even if we come down to that point of control of the range, let's not forget, right? This does not mean that it necessarily has to be the end of the bull market or anything like that. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, not that I think it's at all, that I think it's the top of the bull market. What a brutal bull market that would be, right? We crack 100K a little bit, right? We get a massive correction, and then we just crack the all-time high again just a little bit, just to come into a bear market. Not that anyone's calling for a bear market, but yeah, I just want to be very clear. Like, even if, as we've taken a look at recently, you guys know if we get that weekly red dot, that weekly red dot could potentially give us our first big retracement because, let's remember, this is a pretty much, right? What was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weekly candles in a row. It's not very often that happens where you just don't get some kind of a bigger correction. And if we get that weekly red dot, I do think we could get that bigger correction. And even if you're looking in the grand scheme here, let me hide all the TA. Even in the grand scheme of things here, right? Like if we went down for like a massive retracement, not that I think we're going to 88K or anything like that. But at the end of the day, to continue the uptrend, we could, come down pretty deep without it turning super macro bearish. So yeah. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. We got a, let's see here. We got a poll in the chat. Bitcoin enters our target zone. Now what? The winning, it is either bing bong in the zone for weeks. Hopefully that's not the case. We will soon escape back to all-time highs. That is 48%. I like that because even if we do pull back a little bit, we're hoping for higher lows and higher highs. So yeah, I'm just still longer-term bullish here. And again, that means, longer-term bullish means even if that weekly red dot prints and we cool off to the POC at 97 and 96K, I would still be generally bullish here. But again, still holding our short from the high. So, if it did break down, I would be able to capitalize on that massive short position if we don't wind up continuing the bullish trend. But yeah, just nice to see the push down to our local target level. Can't hate on that too much. Let's see. Shout out to Lusha says, why is there so much selling? Well, I'll tell you this. In my opinion, the way I see it, I would just say money flow crossover into the red. Or money flow coming out on yesterday's live stream made us anticipate the lower high and lower low. That's what I look at. And, whether people are selling because they're scared or it was a whale or whatever it is, right? And again, this wasn't even really that necessarily that huge of a dump, little 3% move. Nothing really too crazy. But, yeah, I mean, it was on the charts here. And that's why we held our short position, which is now pretty good in profit. Let's see. Shout out to Trey Flip Jones said, have not taken profits on the short yet. Shout out to Trey Flip Jones. Don't forget to pay yourself when you're in the green. Because if you don't, you can very, very quickly go into the red. And if you've been trading for a little bit, you will know what that feels like. Trade flip, I'm sure you know what that feels like as well. So don't forget to pay yourself when you're in the green. Let's see. Thoughts on XCC. We're going to take a look at the altcoins in just a minute here, guys. Shout out to Al Jr. said, man, I didn't want to see the charts for days. Shout out to Al Jr. Oh, I can't remember the last time I didn't look at the chart for days. But shout out to Al Jr. Welcome in, bro. Let's see. Google where to buy Bitcoin. There's many exchanges and platforms. They will sell you Bitcoin, including Robinhood, etc. Shout out to someone's looking for where to buy Bitcoin. Yeah, there's many places you can buy it. I would recommend. I don't like Robinhood necessarily, but at the end of the day, you could expose yourself to Bitcoin a little bit there. But let's see. Okay. Shout out to CandleMafia's John Cena. People are, oh my God. And I'm not going to lie, guys. We got the little push to the upside yesterday. I did sniff the heck out of Mrs. Candle's hands yesterday. There is definitely a correlation between sniffing Mrs. Candle's hands and getting the pump to the upside. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Welcome in. Said, hey, fam. Good morning. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Welcome in. Good morning and good evening, depending on where you're from. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Let's see. Could we check Griffin? Yeah, we're going to take a look at the altcoins in a minute. I'm going to start off with Ethereum, and then we'll jump into lunchtime TA. Shout out to Wolf. Wow, is everybody's just like at a different point of the day here. This is wild. We got people waking up. We got people ready to go to sleep. We got people eating lunch. Yeah, shout out to Celinda. I don't know if I said that right. Said beat the Bitcoin conference and Golden Cross warrant a short-term correction. That's what I'm looking at this as of right now. Again, I am still bullish over the long term. As you guys know, we've been looking for a push down ever since 112K, anticipating the 105 to 104K or 103K zone, I should say, and potentially even a move down to 97 and 96K. Really wouldn't make me like super long-term bearish just yet. But yeah, it is funny. Like everybody always says that there is a Bitcoin conference pump, and I've been to 3 conferences, 3 or 4, I think 3. And there has never been a conference pump. It's like a myth. Like, I don't know, people say it happens, and then like it's never happened. I've never seen it happen, unless it happened before I've ever started going. But let's see. Oh, shout out to Wolf said Hawaii Standard Time. Shout out to Hawaii, man. I would love to go to Hawaii. Never been. Yo, shout out to Serge. What is going on? Said, what's going on, bro? Haven't caught you live in a while. Glad to catch you. Shout out to Serge. Welcome in, bro. Happy to have you in here. Yeah, shout out to Dar. Says it dumps every time. I would say if there is a correlation with price action in the Bitcoin conference, it is 100% it dumps more than it pumps. Even I think it was 2021, El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender, and it was like everybody was like, oh my God, this is it. We're going to pump on the conference, and it just dumped. I actually think, I don't remember exactly. I think the top might have been in at that point. I might be wrong about that, but it definitely was not a massive pump. That is for sure. But yeah, that is, if you guys are just tuning in, just scrub back to the beginning of the stream. I cover everything that we're looking at here on Bitcoin, so just be careful here, right? Like, again, the 4-day red dot, 5-day red dot, looking to print here. You know, again, I wouldn't see it as impossible to get a bigger correction to the downside. And sure, we do have the low time frame bull divs with money flow coming up. However, we do not really have that medium time frame money flow agreeing with us, right? If we wanted to see a big move to the upside from this level, I would more often like to see a nice rounded money flow ready to cross into the green, because that's where you're looking for the continuation of the trend to the upside. You need that money flow to cross into the green, and right now it is coming straight out, especially on the 4-hour, which again we used yesterday to anticipate the lower high and the lower low coming in at our 786 golden pocket retracement, which wound up being beautiful, absolutely beautiful, to get the push to the downside. So, yeah, we're going to take a look at the altcoins right now, guys. If you want to see your favorite altcoins, I'm going to keep an eye here on Bitcoin. I'm going to go ahead and drop an alert here above the high, and then we'll also drop an alert here below the, I'll drop it below this local low in case we start dumping again. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye here on the local price action on Bitcoin, but we're going to jump into Ethereum really quickly. So drop your favorite altcoins in the chat. Rob the Crypto Stomper, let us know, count up the votes, and let us know what we're looking at. Let's see. Shout out to Greg. What is going on, bro? He says, Frankie, if price comes down and is making a lower high, we would have to look at high time frame bull divs with low time frame money flow coming into the green, or what would you be looking for to possibly take a scalp long? So for example, right, if I were looking at this, let me just pull up our key levels. Shout out to Greg. That's a great question. If I were looking to take a long down here, again, if you're looking to take a scalp long, right, it's okay to take, in my opinion, right, for me to take a scalp long, it's okay for me to see like low time frame bull divs, because like I always say, it is very uncommon to get any kind of bullish divergence and get nothing to happen, right? But again, it is always going to be that context that gives you the bigger moves, right? So you have to understand the overall context, which in this case will be money flow coming out, not looking the most bullish. But, you know, you come on down to your key level. Let me actually pull up the... I'll just pull up that key zone, right? So, like, you're watching price approach here, and you're saying to yourself, well, hey, you know, we do have lower lows on our price action into the key level of resistance, higher lows on your momentum waves, giving you the bullish divergence into that key level, right? And then even if you come on down here to the lower time frames, you even have you didn't really have any, like, super low time frame bull divs. 5 minute, I mean, you do have it extended here, lower lows, higher lows. But really what I would like to see down here on the lower time frames, yeah, this is not a bull div here, because you need the lower low on price action. Let's check the 1 minute here. Yeah, you did have a 1 minute bullish divergence here, right? So you do have the lower low on your price action, right? Again, into the key level, and then you have the higher low on your momentum waves, and then you kind of put the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then you continue that little uptrend to higher prices. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly what you're asking there. If price comes down and is making a lower high, we would have to look at the high time frame bull divs, low time frame money flow coming into the green, or what would you be looking at for a possibly to take a scalp long? Yeah, so for the scalp longs, like, you could take a scalp long here, like on a 5 minute time frame, if you have if the high time frame, like let's just assume, right, that you have a daily, the daily is like printed a red dot, or you have a red dot confirmed. Like you could take a scalp long, right? When you're taking a scalp long on the lower time frame, right? Like you're just looking for a small move, something like that, right? And you could get bounces like this as the higher time frames look much more bearish. So you want to separate, right? You have to bring them all together at some point to kind of get confluence for the bigger moves. But if you're looking to scalp, right? Like I wouldn't be saying if you get like a bull div down here on a lower time frame, and then your weekly is like you could see here we have a 4-day red dot. That does not mean that you can't take a little scalp long on a 15-minute, right? I'm not even taking into consideration that we have the 4-day red dot. The only time I take into consideration the higher time frame, if I'm looking at a lower time frame, is if I'm looking to enter a longer term trade, right? If I'm looking to find an entry here, say on the 30-minute, in anticipation of a massive move to new all-time highs, right? That's where I'm saying, well, hey, how likely is that move to new all-time highs? You can look at the 4-day and be like, well, hey, that red dot's printed on the 4-day. That's not really what we want to see. Money flow is coming out, right? So yeah, for a very low time frame scalp, I don't really pay much attention to like the higher daily time frames, because again, you can get these moves no matter what's happening on the higher time frames. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. But if you check out, shout out to Greg, if you watch the beginner series, I do have a video, I believe, on time frames and how you can use them together. But yeah, I would say for short-term scalps, you don't really, I'm like, if I'm just looking to take a scalp on the 30-minute for a small move up, I'm very rarely looking at like the 4-day being like, oh my God, I can't take this. Because the idea of a scalp position is to just get in and out on a little move, right? You're not looking to hold it up to massively higher prices. The only time the higher time frame is going to come into effect is if you're looking to enter here and then hold it for a very, very long time. If you're just looking to get in and out, the higher daily time frames aren't really going to mean much for you. It could mean a lot for you if you're looking to hold the trade for a long time. You could use a low time frame to get a good entry and then say, well, hey, if those higher time frames play out, I can get a good entry down here and then hold that for much longer. Does that make sense? Let me know. But let's see here. Let's see. Yo, shout out to BTC Bill. Says, we finna be silly rich. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah, shout out to Gen Z, said we want bull div with SFP combo. That is really that is, to be honest, one of the best signals you could possibly get. Like even here for my short position, right, you have your higher highs on your price action, lower highs, specifically on the 1 hour was what I was looking at, lower highs on your momentum wave. So you have a bearish divergence with price coming up, momentum coming out. That's that discrepancy that makes you think to yourself, well, hey, if price is coming up and momentum is leaving, that's what warrants the correction, right? And then you also had a pretty nice SFP of the high here, right? So you come up, you SFP, you put in the bearish divergences, and then you get the big drop to the downside. I love to see this a lot of times. And I believe we even had it up here, right? For the big drop to the downside, you had higher highs on your price action, right? And then you had your lower highs on your momentum waves, and then you also had your SFP of the highs, right? Beautiful, beautiful confirmation that you're going to get that move to the downside. So, but yeah, we'll keep an eye here. Drop those altcoins in the chat. Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Rob, let's do like 3 requests, and then I will go through. I'll go through Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and then we'll take a look at the requests. So yeah, taking a look at Ethereum here. Jump on over to the alt chart. Let me go ahead and take a sip of that black coffee. Actually, you know what we're going to start with here, guys? Let's start with Bitcoin dominance, actually. Start off with Bitcoin dominance. Let's see here. Yeah, so we are getting the continued rejection from our golden pocket, right? This is kind of what you're hoping for, right? As far as, and again, I'm full transparency, I'm not about to call for alt season or anything like that. But as you guys can see here, we are getting the rejection here from the golden pocket POC confluence on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is pretty nice to see. We do have a daily red dot as well, with bearish divergences confirmed here on the daily. You can see you have the higher highs on your dominance, not price action really. Lower highs on your momentum waves. And then you have another fresh red dot here. Let's check that 90-minute money flow. Yeah, that's in the red as well, continuing the downtrend. So, yeah, I mean, this is nice to see, right? I wouldn't say this is enough to indicate alt season, obviously, but it is nice to see that rejection of that point of control because, as you guys know, I'm just going to run through this quickly because my bias doesn't really change here. Flip this 786. I think you're going to 66.21% for Bitcoin dominance. If you flip that, I think you're getting closer to 68 to 69%. And that's just within the context of the volume profile, right? You flip that value area low to support. POC is next. The POC does give you turbulence. Once you flip that POC, you're going to be looking to begin a journey up to the value area high. Hopefully, we do not have to see this. We have an opportunity to reject here on dominance at 66.21% because this is a major 786 retracement. But as of right now, we're getting a little turbulence underneath this POC, which is nice to see, right? If we could get the drop down to the value area low, this would likely give alt a bit of a pump. However, I wouldn't necessarily call that alt season. I would be looking for alt season to happen, as I say every single time we look at dominance. Once you lose this value area low decisively, I think that's where your bigger drop down on dominance will happen. And then that is pretty much what we saw happen all the way back here. 2021, massive drop in dominance. That is what you want to see for alt season, not this, not this, not this, not this, right? You need to be losing this macro range. And as long as we remain inside this macro volume profile, there is a possibility of coming up higher on dominance. But I will say locally, it is nice that we're holding below this retracement level, right? Because, again, once you flip that 786, super high probability this is going to continue up at least to the 786, if not to the value area high. So, again, my stance stays exactly the same here on Bitcoin dominance. And if we take a look at total 3 real quick, just because we're on the topic, same thing here. Total 3. As we're looking for Bitcoin dominance to lose its value area low, we are hoping that eventually Total 3 can break above its value area low, which would very likely open the door for much more upside on altcoins. That key level is 931.2 billion. That is your key value area low you want to get above. And we're just still kind of consolidating underneath here. So hopefully we can approach. And then the third approach or fourth approach, hopefully, it's going to be resistance until proven otherwise. But, once we get it back up in here, that would be bullish for altcoins, in my opinion. So, yeah, let's take a look at Ethereum really quickly here. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Rob. Thank you for this, bro. Sui Soul, XRP, bada boom. All right, so where we at? Replacement message. All right. Oh yeah, guys. By the way, guys, I did drop the anchored VWAP tutorial. So after you're done with this live stream, definitely go over and check out that anchored VWAP tutorial. Already got some people commenting that helped them out a lot. So check that out. I talk about how to use the anchored VWAP, how to use it to find key levels, good sniper entries into day trades and scalps, as well as how we used it to anticipate potential anticipate the new all-time high on Bitcoin that we just saw. And speaking of anchored VWAPs here, guys. Ethereum low-key doing the same thing that Bitcoin did here as we looked at, on previous streams, right? Take a look at Bitcoin here. We knew that once we got above our anchored VWAP from the all-time high, right here, the old all-time high, we knew, well, hey, this is going to be very, very important resistance, but if we could flip that level of resistance to support, it would greatly increase the chances of coming into our POC and our value area high, and also increasing the chances of new all-time highs. And we've seen that happen absolutely perfectly. And the anchored VWAP here was a big, big, big thing that we were looking at to anticipate that. And I show you guys exactly how we did that in that tutorial. So go check that out after the live stream. The anchored, shout out to Tony Roy, said the anchored VWAP tutorial is fire. Let's go. Is the VWAP the Cardi B indicator? Shout out to Vegas Claw. Yes. I wish I knew that song more so I can sing it replacing WAP with VWAP. But anyway, let's continue on. Anchored VWAP is overpowered 100%. Shout out to Jesse. I would agree. I still don't know how to use or get my anchored VWAP to look like Frankie's. Hey, shout out to Captain Kirk. If you watch the tutorial, I show you exactly how to get it looking just like this. Because if you put it to default settings, your anchored VWAP is going to look like this. So you do have to change it a bit. Shout out to Captain Kirk. I show you the exact settings that I use to get them just like this, and I show you also exactly where to pull them from, because that's one of the biggest questions I get is like, okay, cool, anchored VWAP is awesome, but should I pull it from here? 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 Where should I be pulling this from? And I show you exactly 3 different places that you can pull it from to give you the highest probability or the sauciest levels. So yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, shout out to Cap. Go check out that video. It's not too long. I think it's like 15 minutes. So go check that out. You get all the custom settings and all that good stuff. No, don't sing it, Frankie. You'll get banned. Yeah, you're right. Shout out to Tony Royce. I'm not going to sing it. I'm trying to replace it with technical terms. That's some strong support. I don't know the song that well. Otherwise, I would just belt it out here for you guys. But yeah, again, just that same way that we looked at that anchored VWAP on Bitcoin to anticipate those all-time highs. It doesn't guarantee it's going to play out like this, guys. But what do we have here, right? When we look at Ethereum, we have the, we'll keep the anchored VWAP on, right? We have the massive drop to the downside. We have the anchored VWAP from the high. This will be a very, very key level that once held as support could open up the door to at least to at least, right? We can't just instantly call from all-time highs. And again, it isn't just the flip of support on the anchored VWAP. I talk about that in the tutorial. It's very important to realize it's not just, once you get above this, you're instantly going to shoot up. It has to be in confluence with stuff. And I'll be honest, Ethereum does have some confluence here, right? We've broken above our key doorway to higher prices, which is the value area low of the range at $2,096. And then we also have the move above the anchored VWAP, right? So once you get above the value area low, you're anticipating the POC. Once you get above the POC, we are already anticipating a potential continuation, right? Even if you play around with that POC a little bit, you're looking to start your journey up closer towards that value area high, right? And the fact that we flipped this anchored VWAP is very nice, right? Because it could be telling us that this massive downtrend could be flipping to a massive uptrend, just like it did on Bitcoin. What the heck? Oh, okay, that was weird. Massive downtrend. You flip it to support. You can just see how perfectly it flipped to support. You flip that to support, and you're above your value area low, right? It's like almost the exact same setup here, right? You're above your value area low. You flip the anchored VWAP. You continue up to the POC. Now, Ethereum's already sitting above its POC, which is even nicer, honestly. But yeah, once you flip that anchored VWAP, it could be letting you know that that massive downtrend is about to flip into a massive uptrend. And seeing Ethereum inside its macro volume profile, even minus, like take that anchored VWAP off the chart, right? You would anticipate, get above the low, go to the POC, stay above the POC, begin your journey up towards the value area high. The fact that we're flipping that anchored VWAP is just even nicer, right? Could be telling you massive downtrend could start to turn into a massive uptrend. Now, this does not guarantee long Ethereum right now. We're definitely going up, but it is nice to see and does make it a higher probability that we do continue to the upside. Next targets remain exactly the same as what we've been looking at. Daily level just barely front ran there at 28.19. Once we get above that, we are simply going to be looking up towards our daily naked point of control / golden pocket retracement sitting between about 3,000 and 3150. Those are still the next targets. Other than that, right, things pretty much remain the same for Ethereum, right? As long as we stay above the POC, the doorway up to these next targets do remain open. It's not until we lose that point of control decisively that I would be anticipating lower prices, which could be possible if Bitcoin does end up getting the correction with the weekly red dot. If the weekly red dot prints on Ethereum, right, we could anticipate again, looking at the weekly candles, 1, 2, 3 in a row, and then we had one doji candle, and then we had 2 more green candles. If we are going to get a significant retracement, it's not impossible to come back down to the value area low, or maybe even lower. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because right now we're above that point of control. So we're just going to be using that volume profile as our guide for where price is likely to go next. And yeah, I would say the next big target's between 3,000, 3,150. Key support right now, 2320. Lose that, you're looking down towards the value area low at 2,100. Take a look at the daily here. Could be, and honestly, like this also does look like a pretty nice ascending triangle somewhat, right? Not that I trade these patterns alone, but this is typically when you have that flat level of resistance and prices trending up with higher lows. This is typically a bullish consolidation pattern for an eventual coil up and a breakout. Now, again, I don't trade based off this, but just looking at this as a general thought, like, hey, this is bullish consolidation, could anticipate higher prices. Not too bad for Ethereum. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Even if you correct, you still have key support down below. Shout out to Crypto Revolution, said awesome video. Thanks again, anchored VWAP. Bop, bop, bop. Shout out to Crypto Revolution. Let's go, baby. Let's see. What is happening when you try to pull it from a spot and it doesn't show up? Sometimes I can get it on similar time frames, but try on a higher time frame and it doesn't show up. Shout out to Ace. I don't know. That's interesting. That might be like a whoops. That's a fixed range volume profile, anchored VWAP. That shouldn't. Yeah. That sounds like it might be a little bit more of a like a glitch or something. It should be popping up. It should not matter. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Because, yeah, you can see here, I'm pulling it on the monthly chart here, and it's popping up just fine. And you can see here, like, even just to give a little sauce here, separate from the tutorial, right? We have the low here, the technical higher low that we made down here in 2020. You pull your anchored VWAP, massive support. Massive support. We slipped it in 2022. We reclaimed it, bull run. Then we got our most recent correction. What did we hit? The anchored VWAP from 2020. Bull run? I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, they're essentially just dynamic levels of support and resistance. And again, watch that video. I'll show you exactly how to use it in any situation. High time frame, low time frame, using it to predict potential new all-time highs, using it to find sniper entries on a lower time frame. You could use it on any time frame. ETH holding up while BTC corrects. Send it. Yeah, shout out to Gen Z. That is typically what we do end up seeing. If we're being honest here, right? Like typically Bitcoin will maybe cool off, and then that kind of gives the also a little bit of room to run. So maybe we are going to see that. And a lot of people have been saying like, Bitcoin's been in a massive bull market, but like, what is it? Why is Ethereum not moving? And it's like, this is typical, right? This is typically what we see. Bitcoin steals the show, and then Ethereum follows shortly after. But there you go. That is a major volume profile to watch here. $2,100 value area low, POC at 23.20, and then the value area high again. Not that I expect this to get hit tomorrow or anything, but 25.35, 25.35 at the value area high. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Flatsmack, said, nice, Thomas. 3K is coming soon, or coming, bro. Shout out to Flatsmack. I would agree with you. Yeah, 3K is probably going to be that next big target for me. Must be user error. Thanks. I'll keep playing with it. Yeah, shout out to Ace. That's interesting. I would think maybe in bar replay mode it could give you a little trouble. Sometimes the anchored tools or the fixed range tools have trouble in bar replay mode. So just make sure you're not in bar replay mode. That's the only other thing I can really think of. But yeah. All right, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Sui's starting to look good again. So yeah, I'm just gonna check in on Solana and XRP. Although, again, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on these just because we've covered these so much, and there's not much difference here. Again, Ethereum, Solana just still bang-bonging around between its two value areas. Still, I mean, I would even say this kind of looks like some kind of bullish consolidation, if I'm being honest. But value area high is still key support here. We are bouncing off of it currently. If we break down back into this value area high, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. We already tapped this golden pocket, so it's not as important in my opinion. But if we do lose that, I'm going to be looking down to the 786 value area high POC, sitting between 153.77 and 150.92, and that is going to be the next key level to the downside in my own personal opinion. Let me just make sure I don't have to move this fib up any bit. Yeah, no, that's definitely it. But other than that, right, like just understand the value area high at 166.83 is the biggest key level to hold. Lose it, probably getting the bigger drop down. If you could hold it, two things could happen here. You're either going to continue to range around in your value locally here, which you could use a volume profile to find your local levels, right? Whether you're looking for like little day trades within the range, but still on the higher time frames, doorway to lower prices, 166.83, doorway to higher prices, 183.91. Simply put, once you flip 183.91, I think everybody in the Candle Mafia knows that next target for Solana is going to be 216.90. So yeah, other than that, not too much to update here. If we take a look at Market Cipher really quickly, daily red dot has been confirmed. Let's see, 3-day red dot has also been confirmed. 4-day red dot printing, 5-day red dot looking to print. So yeah, we just have to be careful, right? These higher daily time frame red dots could give you a little bit of a bigger push down. So we just have to be careful of that. But again, even if we get the bigger correction similar to Bitcoin, right? Just understand we've had a massive move up here on Solana so far, right? 97% from the bottom on, what is this, April 7th? Yeah, April 6th, right? Massive move to the upside since then, right? Almost 100%, right? So it's not impossible to get bigger cool-offs, and that's why I'm looking at those Fibonacci retracements, the one right here, and then you could also pull even lower ones. Let me just go ahead and hide some of this stuff. You could even pull the, full Fibonacci retracement. You have golden pocket support down here at the value area low. So, if we do wind up going into a little bit more of bear mode and we come on down to the POC, lose the POC, golden pocket value area low would be a huge level to look at for a higher low and a potential continuation up. So that's why we're going to use the volume profiles on the way down. But until we lose that value area high, guys, I wouldn't be, once we break below that, that's where I'd be looking for the bigger moves down into the local levels and then maybe eventually the higher time frame levels. But right now we're technically above that value area high. So those are the key levels I'm looking at. Just watch those high time frame red dots for a potential bigger push down. Other than that, just watch the local range, flip this value area high, low at 183.98. That's where we could see the bigger move up into, the POC at 217. So there we go. Let's see. Shout out to Wayne C. Said, ETH, come on, get to 4K so I could sell. Shout out to Wayne C. Let's go, baby. Come on, ETH. You could do it, baby. You could do it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, ZBCN. I'll take a quick look at that. ZBCN. We took a look at this yesterday. Yeah, thing is just absolutely mooning right now. Let me see if I can find the that's MEXC Bybit. This is the chart we were looking at yesterday, where we were looking at our local value area. What was yesterday? Yesterday was the 28th. Pushed into, what is that? That was the, 28th. So, yeah, we were pushing, I guess, down. Where's 545? Yeah, so we were kind of just hanging around here. We had this volume profile with key levels down below. Kind of hard to look for the moves to the upside unless we look at the Fibonacci extension levels. I could do that for you guys if we want to find some resistance. Obviously, hard to find resistance when there's no price action when you look to the left. But let me just pull this fib real quick. Pull up the extension levels. Yeah, I mean, well, yesterday if we did this, would have been looking right here on the Fibonacci extension zone. So, yeah, you actually might be able to get a little resistance here. Obviously, if this thing is just going to moon, it is, when things are flying like this, I'm not saying short this thing right now. Kind of hard to short against such a strong trend. But, could say might be able to get a little hung up here on ZBCM. Once you break out, next target to the upside, in my opinion, based off the Fibonacci extension levels, would be sitting up here between 86,589 and 80064, right? Like, those numbers are kind of hard to call or say. But yeah, this would definitely be the next target to the upside. If you get the move to the downside at this point, I would pretty much just be looking at your range below, right? Like, it's kind of hard. You kind of have to let some kind of structure build out here, right? Like, maybe you wind up getting into a range up here, or maybe you start getting into a little tiny range up here, or maybe you break out and then you range up here. It's kind of hard to, if you do pull back, what we could do is pull some Fibonacci retracements. Take off that 786 just to clean things up. Yeah, I mean, definitely this area of value is going to be something to watch on the way down. You can see we bounced directly off that point of control. I don't know if we were already bouncing. What is this? Oh, no, this is oh, no, yesterday was, we were already flying to the upside. I think we were up. Yeah, we were up here yesterday. So, yeah, we started flipping this value area high to support. That's where we took off. But if we did come down, right, obviously this would be the range you would want to look at, POC value area low, for some potential new long entries. But this thing just wanted to go and absolutely send it to the upside. So this is definitely still going to be an area that I would look at if you get a bigger correction. But until then, right, like, the only thing you can really do is pull your Fibonacci retracement levels. Yeah, I mean, 786 value area high confluence. Yeah, value area high golden pocket sitting right there at about 0.00515110. So, yeah, I mean, I would have to let this kind of cool off a little bit and just kind of find a little bit of structure before you start looking at some legitimate key levels to look at, to be quite honest. So, yeah, this thing is just mooning. Not too bad. Looks pretty nice. Shout out to anybody holding ZBCN. I do not personally hold any of this. So I'm going to 100x long the top. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, next targets to the upside would be sitting up there. Honorable mention. I mean, if this thing really does just keep mooning. Yeah, next fib target right here. And then above that, about 1 cent to the upside would be like that blast Fibonacci extension level. So there you go. You got the daily green dot printing right now. 90-minute money flow has been in the green for eternity here. So, yeah, this thing's just, it's going. It's definitely going. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Silk said, remember about pulling fibs, Mr. Candles. Shout out to Silk. Never pull your fib in public, guys. It is actually illegal. They'll lock you up. But anyway, let's see. Bitcoin, surprised it's going down when it went up 8 weeks in a row, and the conference is over for Bitcoin. Yeah, shout out to AK Lifes. Yeah. Tell me about it, bro. It's very hard. Sometimes I have to come up here, and it's like we just looked at in the beginning of the stream, right? What was it? 7 green weekly candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Like, as soon as price goes down, a lot of people get scared, but not the CandleMafia, because we are aware of this. And not only that, but we are also short. Well, I was originally short from the tippy top. Now we're short from 109.5. So, yeah, hopefully, I'll be honest, guys. I kind of hope a bigger correction comes in so I can keep capitalizing on that short position. But, yeah, it's, yeah, like, that's what I say. Even, like, move to 97K. Not that scary. I mean, even if you come back down to the value area low, you could still stick support and continue up. It's very hard to call exactly what the structure will look like. But yeah, it's like once every time we get these massive pumps to the upside, especially like it makes me always think of XRP because I have so many people in my personal life that were like, oh my God, I should buy XRP. I should buy XRP. I should buy XRP after it had already gotten a huge move to the upside of 612%. And I'm like, I would wait for a pullback. Don't buy the top. And then they buy the top, and it pulls back a little bit, and they're like, what the heck, man? I lost 50% of my money. And it's like, dude, it just ripped 700%, 600%. That's not crazy, right? After a 600% pump, a 50% correction is not uncalled for, right? So, yeah. Shout out to, I forgot who said that, but shout out to whoever said that. Tell me about it. Let's see. Frankie, my hero. Can you show us also how to pull fixed ranges? I don't really get this from which candle to pull it from. Shout out to Pose. I appreciate you, bro. But check out the beginner series. I have tutorial videos showing you how to do everything I do on this chart right now. If you watch that beginner series, you'll be caught up to date on how to do everything that we do on this live stream for the most part. Isn't there always a post-conference dump? I would say there's usually a during the conference dump. But yeah, I don't know. We said that in the beginning of the stream. It's like everybody always says conference pump. And I've never seen a conference pump. I've been to 4 of them. 3 of them. 21, 22. I've been to 4 of them? Dang. But yeah, no, I've never seen a conference pump in my life. But yeah, what goes up must come down. Absolutely. Shout out to Nihilist. Okay, so let's continue on here. We took a look at Ethereum, XRP. I mean, we could take a look at XRP real quick. I mean, we check this every day, but let's just check in on it real quick. Bada boom, come on down to a lower time frame. Yeah, nothing to update here, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and skip XRP just because. Key level remains the same. Daily naked point of control 786 at about 220. If we could hold that, that's really a level you want to hold. Once you lose that, I'll be looking down towards about 205 to our value area low because that would be the full fill of the range. Reject the value area high with bearish confirmations down to the POC. Lose the golden pocket 786. Go down to the value area low. And even if you're not looking at the fib zone, right, you're just anticipating an eventual fill of that range, right? Unless you're going to hold the aggressive trend to the upside, which in my opinion would have to hold in this blue zone, right? Once you lose it, I'm looking down a bit lower. So there you go. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Let's go to 500. Let's get to 550 likes. I think we can get to 550 likes in the next. Come on. I got a timer here, guys. I really do time it. Let's get to 550 likes in the next 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Here we go. And the timer goes. 1, 2, 3. Hit that like button right now. Let's spam it and see if we can break it. It goes in batches of 50. So if everybody hits it at the same time, we can watch it jump from wherever it's at right now, probably in the 300s, I would guess. 300s all the way into the 500s in one shot. Break YouTube, baby. Sui. Let's see. Shout out to Harry. Yeah, we could take a look at Sui, INJ. Thumbs up button, y'all. Shout out to Don. Telcoin, Railio, Network, Flare. Try to take a look at those. Yeah, shout out to Pale. Why are we doing TA on a stable coin? Yeah, this is yeah. I mean, any price action, I mean, at least on Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, most price action ranges about 80% of the time. And then, because here's the thing, I will say this, right? The reason you want to do TA in the consolidation is simply because this is what everybody who missed this move, right, should have been paying attention inside here, right? So next time XRP is either going to do that or this, right? This is the time to be paying attention. But yeah, this thing has pretty much been a stable coin for a while now. Honestly, like pretty much like everything else, right? Like even Link, like not as long as XRP, but just still pretty much going sideways. Or maybe, what is that? That's May. What is that? Yeah, it's been moving a bit more. XRP just kind of, yeah. That's why I don't really spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, let's check out Sui. Let's check out a little bit of Sui, baby. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, so this is not the Sui chart. What is that? That is Coinbase. There we are. Okay. So yeah, I mean, even Sui. Pretty much, right? Other than, what we've been looking at here. Break above your value area low. That's your doorway. To where? right into the POC of the range, which obviously was the case. We got above that value area low. Next likely place for price to go is the POC of the range. Once you hit that, right, come back down, test the value area low once again. As long as you hold above that, the doorway to the POC and beyond is still open. And, yeah, we're just kind of ping-ponging around this volume profile, to be honest. Key level of support right now. We came up, retested the golden pocket, and then we get the bounce off the POC, and now we are potentially looking to lose this. So right now, I would say still the key levels down below on all the altcoins. You know, it is crazy how much the I mean, obviously, Sui's doing okay, but, yeah, it's just like if we come down, key level remains the same, right? This zone between about 322 and 298 is going to be the key level of support. Daily naked point of control, anchored VWAP, value area low. I'll label that value area low real quick. Right, value area low, daily naked point of control, and the anchored VWAP. This does sit between about 322 and 298. This is still the big level of support, in my opinion, because as long as you remain inside this range and hold the value area low, I mean, even if you slip it, if you could reclaim, right, we might just be looking to kind of range around in this volume profile. Once you flip that POC of the range, we've already rejected this golden pocket twice, right? So once you get above that golden pocket, I'll actually keep it on the chart. Once you get above the POC, you could reapproach your golden pocket, flip the golden pocket. Once you get above that golden pocket, the next likely place for price to go is going to be the 786. And once you get above the POC, the next likely place for price to go is the value area high. And the 786 and the value area high are confluent right up here at about 453. Until then, right, if we take a look at the higher time frames, take a look at the daily. Daily money flow kind of wonked out here. 2-day money flow attempting to continue to the upside. Like I said, I do think if we're going to get another big move up on the altcoins, I think that 2-day money flow is what to look for. Now, this 2-day money flow could come back out. It could spend a lot of time here, right? Patience is going to be king here, you know, depending on what happens. But, you know, once this money flow eventually crosses into the green, this is typically what we see happen. When you get those 2-day money flow crossovers, they are typically indicating much more upside to come. You get a big push to the upside here. You kind of cool off. Money flow crosses into the green. Continuation of the uptrend. Price comes down. Money flow crosses into the red. The trend continues to the downside. You get a little bit of a move up. Money flow, price kind of chills out a little bit. Money flow crosses into the green. Next big leg up. We get a big leg up. Price kind of chills out, right? And then eventually when that money flow crosses into the green, I think that's where you'll see the next big move up. Honestly, all the altcoins are looking very similar to that. But yeah, that's kind of what that's what I would look at for the most part. Other than that, key level support remains the same. If you lose the daily naked point of control, you have your lower range down here starting at about 283, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Other than that, you're within your volume profile. We've already flipped the value area low to support. At the end of the day, you could still be on your journey to the value area high. It's not until we lose the value area low daily naked point of control decisively where I would be calling for much lower prices. So, yeah, hopefully we can get that 2-day money flow to continue into the upside there. But, yeah, let's see here. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, shout out to Silent Q, said XRP holder since 2017, got a fat bag. Shout out to Silent Q. Yeah, me too. I do have a fat bag. I stopped, luckily, right, and I got a lot of flack for this, honestly. You know, in the past bear market, this previous bear market, you know, I stopped buying XRP, right? And the reason for that was because, number one, I already had a huge bag of it. And number two, I just saw that a lot of my capital was going to be better allocated to other things that weren't being dragged down by a lawsuit, right? And although I did kind of anticipate that, you know, it would wind up being okay, you know, it did wind up being better that I allocated that money other places because a lot of things outperformed XRP as it was still being suppressed by the lawsuit. And there is the timer going off. Did we hit 550 likes? Somebody let me know in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, XRP is the absolute worst. I think XRP is either going to be the biggest disappointment of all time, right? Or I don't know, like not the biggest disappointment of all time. Because here's the thing, right? It's kind of all relative, right? Like XRP is the biggest disappointment of all time for people who bought up at the top here, right? But if you have been holding XRP, now don't get me wrong. Obviously, they had the lawsuit. This was absolutely brutal. It didn't make a new all-time high in 2021. Absolutely horrible, right? But at the end of the day, right, like I'm up massively on my XRP, right? Like massively. Not that I'm in from here, but I am up massively on my XRP. So it's kind of all relative, to be quite honest with you. You know, I think the tribalism of crypto is kind of senseless. It's kind of just like, you know, people, and it's like the people who are super pro XRP are super like on the team, right? If I thought that XRP was going to go to zero, I would have sold my bag, right? You're never going to see me get up here and get emotional about I'm in, I like XRP because it's the team that I picked, and it has to go up, and I'm going to stand by it until it goes up, right? If it looks like it's going to go down, I'm going to sell my bags, right? At the end of the day. So I just don't get tribal at all about any of this, right? It's all about the chart, and I either think that XRP is going to be the biggest disappointment, or there's going to be a lot of people that are going to wish that they bought it after it's already too late, right? And I don't really fall on either side of the coin. I think XRP will perform well. But I'm not going to say that, it can't fail, right, or not pump super hard. What was the first coin I ever bought? Shout out to Nihilist. I believe, I'd have to check my Coinbase. I believe that it was the first coin I bought as well. It was either that, Litecoin, it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Litecoin. I'm not sure exactly what was actually first. But XRP was one of the first. Let's see. I'm Team ETH. Shout out to Gen Z. I hold a lot of ETH as well. My XRP bags are full since 2019, long term, baby. Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, it's the same thing. It's like it's with anything, right? Like if the thing doesn't instantly moon, like people will just hate on it, which is fine. But yeah, it's like I'm not looking to get rich overnight on XRP. My bag is up gigantically, but I didn't expect it to happen overnight. That's kind of how you wind up getting wrecked in crypto, right? I watch all my newbie crypto friends, not my newbie crypto friends, but like my normie friends that get into crypto, my family. It's like they get in and they're like, I bought it at 322. Why don't I have a 50x yet? It's like, dude, you got to calm down. If you're jumping in and you're going to try to get rich overnight, you're going to lose your money because you know what they do? If it doesn't move, right? I had some people who were holding Cardano, right? Some of my friends and my family, honestly, holding Cardano. And they saw XRP make this massive move, and they sold their Cardano to buy XRP at the top. And then eventually Cardano wound up getting a little bit of a pump as well. But then, they wind up selling something that is not pumping to buy something that is pumping. And then the thing that is pumping, they wind up buying the top of. And then after that dumps, sometimes the other coin goes up, and they just wind up on the wrong game of the ping pong, right? The wrong side of the game of ping pong. Don't do that, Mafia. Don't do that. I'm going to help you. Frankie Candles is here to help you guys. I'm not going to let you guys do that. Let's see. Shout out to Maddie. Says trading is so much easier when things are going up. I mean, yeah. If you're talking about like long-term spot bags, I mean, if you just wait for everything to explode, it's like I don't know if we're in the same situation this cycle, to be honest. But like in 2017 and even in 2021, it's like everything was exploding, and you could have just bought any altcoin that went up. I don't know if we're in the same situation right now. I don't. Those days might be over. Hopefully not. But I don't think it's. I don't know. Shout out to Diaz. Says, I hate Cardano. Ask me why. Diaz, I'll bite. Why do you hate Cardano? Is it going to have something to do with your wife's boyfriend or something? Shout out to Alex Becker. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on here. Taking a look at Sui. Let's continue on. Where we at? Oh yeah, we already did Sui. Totally lost here. Shout out to Michael S. Says trading's easier when you're part of the mafia. Yeah, that's the one thing too. It depends on what you're talking about. Long-term spot bags, absolutely, which is like a majority of people, right? They just want to buy and hold. But that's why in the mafia we trade. It literally does not matter, right? Like on Bitcoin especially, right? If it does not matter if we're in a bull market or a bear market, it is literally the same thing for us, right? Massive bull market, your spot bags pump, and you can long, right? And then in the bear market, this is just another bull market for us, right? Sure, your spot bags aren't going up, but we made a ton of money in this bear market because we shorted it on the way down. And proof of that is right now, right? Literally, on a day-to-day basis, up $3,000 right now on price going down. If price nukes, we are absolutely cashing out. So it literally doesn't matter. It's easier for your spot bags, obviously. But no, I'll be honest. I honestly think that in a bear market, leverage trading is a little bit easier, just because of the absolute dumpy nature. I don't know if it has something to do with maybe gravity being on your side, but I would argue that I prefer day trading and leverage trading in a bear market. It doesn't really. I don't know. It's not much of a difference. I mean, because at the end of the day, whether it's blue candles, purple candles, green candles, red candles, white, black, doesn't matter. If it goes up, we can make money. If it goes down, we can make money, right? And the beautiful thing about trading is if you learn how to short the market, you won't leave crypto in the most important part where you should be paying attention, right? The reason why a majority of retail has felt so much pain this cycle is because they waited to get in too long, right? They see the bear market and they're like, whatever, it's over. And then they don't come back in until price is really high. They get in, they buy the top, they get dumped on, a lot of them sell their bags, then another rip happens, they buy the top, and then at that point, right, retail is exhausted. They're just getting absolutely crushed. But if you learn how to trade, and I highly recommend this, right? Like, you don't have to just be a slave to making money when price goes up. Learn how to make it when it goes down. That way, not only are you leaving a ton of money on the table as price comes down if you're not shorting, right? But you could just make a bunch of money on the way down, and you're still in the market. You're still paying attention to crypto. And then when things start to bottom out and charts start to look a little bit better, you can start to say to yourself, it might be time to start getting ready for the next bull market. Let me load up my spot bags. And this is when you want to pay attention to buy your spot bags. My Bitcoin was bought between $20 and $21,000. If you wait till price comes up, you're never going to get those good entries. And what keeps you in here is if you're making money on the way down, it's much easier to stay in the market rather than just like watching price go down and get really scary, right? You just have to anticipate this stuff. So yeah, if that's not your sign to learn how to trade, whether price goes up or down, and learn how to long and short, I don't know what is. Especially if you're looking to make trading your full-time job, or you're trying to like retire off crypto or make crypto your full-time job, like why would you only limit yourself to bull markets, right? Price goes up and it goes down. Why not make money both ways? But hey, that's what the Mafia does, baby. Let's go. All right, let's see. That was my experience with XRP the first time when I bought around 32 cents. Shout out to James. My first coin was Matic. Shout out to Pitbull. What was everybody's first coin? Let me know. I'm really curious. But yeah, let's continue on here. Go ahead and drop some alts in the chat here, guys, and I'll start taking a look at some other stuff. How long until crypto insurance is offered? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by insurance. You mean like when will people offer FDIC insurance on your crypto? Maybe that's what you mean. Let's see here. How do you trade? Shout out to Genius. Shout out to you, brother. Well, hey, if you want to learn how to trade or you want to learn how I trade, you're in the right spot. Subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on notification bell. And watch through all my tutorials. I just dropped one today, and we have the beginner series, which is literally going to bring you from knowing nothing about the charts to learning how to not only find trades and make money when price goes up, but also when it goes down. Let's see. Bought a car yesterday. Unfortunately, they don't take Bitcoin yet. I'll be honest. I see a lot of people taking crypto. It's like more and more places. More and more places. I forgot what I was looking at the other day. I was looking at something, and it said, we take Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Shout out to Nordic. Said, Frankie, would you recommend I get Premium Trading View or Market Cipher, or both are necessary? Shout out to Nordic. I would say Premium Trading View is really important for the time frames. I don't know what it limits you to on the free version. I think it's like the 5. I don't know exactly what they limit you to. But the cheapest version of Trading View is fine, in my opinion. Whatever the cheapest version is will give you more time frames. That's really the most important thing about Trading View. So yeah, like generally I would probably recommend Market Cipher, to be honest. Because I would say if you could swing it, cheapest version of Trading View and then Market Cipher would probably be the best thing. Not financial advice, but that's my personal advice. Let's see. First coin was ETH. Shout out to Erica. Let's go. Is this the conference dump? Where do we sit now? Yeah, we're back down at 105. Let's take a look here. Yeah, back down to test that value area high. I don't know. I'll be honest, like, although on the conference it does typically dump more than it pumps, I don't really see much of a correlation in general. I don't really see much of a correlation at all. Like, pump or dump, it's definitely dumped more than it's pumped. But I don't even know if it's really I don't think it's correlated to the conference. I don't think price action cares about the conference, if I'm being honest, right? Like, any price action that we were looking at here on the charts was not had nothing to do with like the I don't know. I don't think, like, nothing about the conference is going to make price dump or pump, right? Like, sure, it's exciting the Bitcoin conference is happening, but like, why would price pump off of that? It just doesn't make sense to me, especially now. With like all the big money in there. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Iron. Said, man, I hate to be that person, but I have a lot of capital and I'm clearing up to get in. I know everyone will hate this, but I hope we go sideways for 3 weeks. Don't cuss me out. Shout out to Iron. Let's go. And again, I mean, here's the thing, right? Again, when it comes to trading, right, it doesn't matter, again, whether price goes down or up, you can make money. And, like, even when price trades sideways, this is some of my favorite price action. When price goes sideways, it's kind of horrible for content, right, because it's not very exciting. But for trading, right, sideways ranges is pretty much our bread and butter here with the volume profiles, right? Longs at the lows, shorts at the highs. Shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, right? So that's kind of our bread and butter, right? That's where you get the highest probability volume profile setups, in my opinion. So, yeah, I don't really care. It doesn't matter if it goes up, down, or sideways. The CandleMafia is making money, baby. Let's go. All right, let's continue on here. Let's take I want to take a look at some stuff that we have not taken a look at. Let's take a look at Litecoin. See some people calling out Litecoin here. Let me pull up the alt template, LTC. All right, so yeah, if we look at this, right, we barely, right, we kind of held, if you come on a weekly, you probably, you held this. This is nice on Litecoin, right? You have your bear market range down here from 2022. We deviated above it. We came back in. We put in a higher low. Where did we put the higher low in now, guys? The 786 Fibonacci retracement. Put the higher low in. This is what you would hope to hold to eventually come up and break structure to the upside to continue your uptrend. So I don't hate that. We front ran the value area low, but I like that we held that 786. So again, even if we get a bigger correction here, let's measure this, right? 70% pump. 13% dump. Like, that's okay. It's not a bad thing, right? So right now, key support, I would say, is your point of control, sitting at 92.01. Let's pull our fib here from the impulse. Let's pull an anchored VWAP as well. Pull it from the swing low. Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm going to change this to gold. So, yeah, I would say, locally, this is your biggest key level of support. You have your POC, Golden Pocket, Anchored VWAP 786, 86.19 to 92.11. Yeah, I would say, POC sits at $92, right? Golden Pocket, I'll just give you the whole range, right? And then I'll actually, you know what I'll do here? Let me grab the fib, and I'll pull up the actual prices so you guys can just see them and copy them, right, if you want them. I have to hide the candles for a second. You can screenshot those levels if you please. But POC Golden Pocket 786. This whole zone sits between 92.11 and 86.19. I would prefer really to hold the anchored VWAP Golden Pocket, but you could always flush down to that 786. So I'll be looking at that as a key zone of support. Now, the only thing I don't love about this is the fact that we've rejected the value area high. Typically, this is what we're looking at as a rejection. You want to look for shorts at the value area high before getting accepted back into the range. Once we lose this, right, if you do get back down below that 786 and you start losing the 786, we could get that bigger drop down to the value area low at about 60.78. Now, again, this would be much more bearish, in my opinion. We are hoping, like right now, you really just want to hold it, but this is the biggest key zone. That's all. I'll leave it at that, right? 92.11 to 86.25. This is the biggest level on the chart. If you want to continue your uptrend and you want to break out of here and go to higher prices, you must hold this level. Not that you can't bounce off lower levels. I don't want to say it that from that much of a binary perspective. But yeah, you could come down to the full Golden Pocket 786 and still hold a higher low. But ideally, you hold this local level. If we break that 786, we'll find those next key levels to the downside. But as of right now, you came up to the value area high and you're getting rejection. Lose that PLC 786, bigger drop down could be in store. But if you hold this, that's your best bet to get a more aggressive push to the upside. Doorway to higher prices above is $107.56. Flip that. Your next target is $127. So there you go. Let's see here. BitConnect. Shout out to Mr. B. Let's go. I actually met that guy at a Bitcoin conference. He was wild. He was crazy. It was insane. I met him, and I don't remember what he did. He was like so high energy. And I think I met him, and he was like, he did like a split. I don't remember, or a backflip or something. He was just like so amped up. I was like, and from a relatively amped up person as myself, this guy made me look like I was asleep. But yeah, thanks for the sauce, home slice. Shout out to G-Dub. No problemo, bro. That's what I'm here for. Frankie, if you had to buy a pricey wristwatch, what would you buy? Oh, God. That's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking at the other day. I was on, I don't know. I was either on Trax NYC or TPT looking at watches. And maybe it was ICE. I don't remember. I was looking at watches, and they accepted Bitcoin. A lot of jewelry places accept Bitcoin. But, oh, God, there's so many watches. I love watches. I don't know. I would like, I don't know. I have like classy, like really nice investment watches that I would want. As well as like super garbage bust down watches that I would want. But yeah, I would say a chocolate dial date. I don't know. I've been like looking to buy a watch for so long, and then I just window shop. I'll be honest. I think like for me, like I'll window shop watches, and I could buy them, and I just window shop them, and I'm like, I don't know. It kind of just like kind of scratched the itch, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I like Rolexes. I don't like APs really. I'll say that. I think APs are boring. Richard Milles are nice. I'd like a Richard Mille. But yeah, I don't know. Datejusts are nice. Day dates are nice. I don't like Submariners. Submariners are just look like regular watches to me. They don't look anything special. Yeah, Pateks are nice, or Pateks are nice. Yeah, I don't know. The answer to the question is I have watches, and I will have at the end of the day. I will end up with a gigantic collection of watches, to be honest with you, because they're as good as money, right? Like I like to invest my money into stuff that will either give me a return or at least hold its value. And watches are pretty much as good as cash, right? You're basically just like taking your money and parking it into a watch. And if you ever needed like whatever the amount of money was, you could always just sell your watch and get pretty much what you paid for it or more. So yeah. Tags are nice. Yeah, I would say Submariner is still the goal. Yeah, Submariners are nice watches, just not my taste. But yeah, I mean, you can never go wrong with a Rolex. Shout out to Gen Z, said rich people conversation one day. Shout out to Gen Z. 100% one day, especially you, Gen Z. I see you making progress every single day. I know for a fact. Bro, thanks for the Anchored VWAP tutorial. Shout out to Tales of Mystery. No problemo, brother. No problemo. Got burnt there on the Submariner comment. Ain't rich yet to afford the Richard Mille. Yeah, shout out to Darren. No, Submariners are very nice. Submariners are very nice. They're just not my flavor. But listen, I also, if you want me to roast myself on watches, I like Rolexes. I like Pateks. I also love like bust down watches, which are like the of the watch world. I love, like, man, I would get oh man. I just love, I don't know. I love shiny stuff, guys. I love shiny stuff. It's worthless though. Don't buy diamonds, guys. It's stupid. If you get a bust down watch, if you get a Rolex and you ice it out, you ruin the value of the watch. I just personally like the way it looks, but I totally understand that it ruins the value of the watch. So yeah, shout out to Darren. Any watch person in the chat right now would roast me for wanting an iced out watch. I just like the way it looks. But anyway, Seikos are bomb. Yeah, I mean, listen, I like anything. I'm so like I said, just like in crypto, I'm not tribal on anything, to be quite honest. But I will say APs bore me. I don't know. I like, everyone loves APs. I don't like them. I don't know. I think they're boring. Casio, G-Shocks are fire. I mean, hey. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Curtis, says Frankie's got one of those calculator watches with a red laser. Low key, I would love that. Those are fire too. Yeah. Oh yeah, bust down Santos, 100%. Yeah, I'd probably have one if I left my house more often. Let's see. Okay, so let's continue on. Yeah, actually, let's take a look at let's take a look at where we at. Yeah, let's take a look at Monero real quick. Is this? Bear with me here. There we go. A little more. There we go. A little more price history. Yeah, so let's take a look at this real quick. Swatch. Yeah, I mean, hey. Thoughts on Apple Watch? Shout out to Kalia. I have an Apple Watch. I don't have, actually, it's funny. I was thinking about that last night. I have not worn my Apple Watch in a really long time, and the only reason for that is because the battery life started, like, dying over time. I used to wear my Apple Watch every day of the week, just because it's functional. But yeah, the watch, I would say the watch I wear the most is a Movado that my dad gave me for when I graduated college. I'm like a sentimental guy. I love that watch. I will keep that watch and wear that watch for the rest of my life. Super cool. Why can't I pull a volume profile on this? What's going on, guys? I'm getting trolled here on TradingView. Hang on. All right. Man. Oh, okay, there we go. We already have a chart marked out here. Okay, yeah. So last time we looked at Monero, I would have to assume, based on this daily level, we had to have been somewhere down here. Man, well, I wish we looked at Monero more often. Get into the value area, flip the value area low to support. Next place for price to go is the POC. You slip the POC, you get back in, right, or slip past the value area low, get back in, right back to the POC, back to the low, back up to the POC, resistance. But at that point, you are anticipating this to be your journey. Once you get accepted into the value area low, you look to begin the journey to your POC, and then eventually flip that POC and move up to your value area high. We got the move to the value area high, pushed above it with daily bearish divergences. I would probably be looking at lower time frame bear divs here. 8-hour bearish divergence above the high. Get back into your range, and then continue that drop down towards the POC. Traditionally, you would have to anticipate that the next likely place for price to go when you approach from that value area high is going to be the point of control. However, you have to understand if we are going to go into like a parabolic bull run here or a parabolic alt season, the idea here would have to be that you would look and hope for higher lows and higher highs. So I'm going to pull the fib from the impulse to the high, bounce off the golden pocket, flip the value area high to support, and then, that's the, if we're going to go into new all-time highs, the hope here would be to hold above the golden pocket. If not, in the worst-case scenario, to continue the trend to the upside, you would hope that you hold the POC, and again, hopefully we don't have to test this, but the biggest level on the chart would be that point of control 786 compliments. Ideally, you bounce off the golden pocket. I mean, ideally, you just take off from here, right? But if you could come down here, you really want to hold above the 786 point of control. And yeah, you would just be, this is kind of the big zone. You would hope for the bounce off the golden pocket. If you lose the golden pocket, the next place for price to likely go would be the 786. And within the context of the volume profile, this is not out of the question, right? And we have seen many a times price try to break out of a volume profile, come back to test the POC, and then finally get the big move up. It's very hard to understand when that will happen, so that's why we look at things level to level. So if you get the bigger correction, 275 is a huge level of support. Lose that, 235 down to about 226 would be a big level to hold. Lose that point of control, that is much more bearish in my opinion. And in that case, yeah, I think if you lose this POC, I think we got bigger things to worry about. I think that, at that point, you come back down here, that's just not good. So you want to hold above the POC, the golden pocket, if not the 786 POC. If you don't get that bigger correction, you're able to flip out of that value area high. Only thing you really have above you after holding this value area high as support is the all-time high at 520. Now, taking a look at Market Cipher, you do have the weekly red dot, right? No bearish divergence, but you do have the weekly red dot, which could potentially give you the continuation down towards the golden pocket 786. That's what I would look for. 5-day red dot is printing, 6-day red dot looking to print. So yeah, these are the key levels I would look at. Daily, bearish divergences confirmed, money flow trying to roll back over potentially. Yeah, it looks similar to Bitcoin, right? Like money flow coming out on the 4-hour. Oh, no, Bitcoin, what are you doing? Shout out to the short, and there we go. Breaking the, let's put another alert there real quick. And we'll see. Yeah, well, there you go, guys. That is, yeah, we can't hold this value area high. Definitely going to be looking down towards that 786. Let's pull that up real quick. What folder do I have that in? Do I not? Yeah, also, this anchored VWAP. right? From the impulse that broke the high back here. Hang on, let me pull this anchored VWAP real quick. Yeah, anchored VWAP. And I'll have to pull the fib again here because I don't know what happened to it. And we'll drag that box down towards the 786. Yeah. So remember, this is a pretty big zone. Get stuck underneath that value area high. Anchored VWAP would be next. And then 786 if we really want to go down a bit more. We'll see what happens. I got that alert set at the low here, so if we crack the low, we'll get alerted. But yeah. Not too bad for the short, though. Shout out to anybody who was in the live stream yesterday. You can do this too. I promise you guys this. Especially if you are sitting here through a almost 2-hour live stream to learn how to trade and make money trading Bitcoin, whether price goes up or down, you can do this too. I am not special. I am not. There were times where if I made a $50 profit, I was jumping for joy. You do. Actually, you guys can't even really see this, can you? There were times where I was jumping for joy for $50 profit, and now it's just numbers on the screen, right? And I say that because there's nothing special about me. If I could figure this out, if I could read the charts the way I do, you can too. It takes hard work. You're not going to get rich overnight, but if you put in the work and you have the dedication, you have the grit, and you do not give up, I promise you, you can figure this out. I am not special. I have a just keep it at that. I'm not special, right? Like, I could come up here and be like, worship me, right? Look at this. I know where price is going to go, right? No, I am a normal person. That's why I'm so passionate about dropping the tutorials like the Anchored VWAP tutorial, the beginner series. I like to give away as much free value as possible because I know for a fact that if you pay attention and you study the videos that we drop on this channel, you will start to understand how price moves, and you could, I don't want to say very easily, but you can very surely learn how to do this and make money trading Bitcoin almost every single day. You're going to lose money too as well, right? I mean, you're not going to make money every single day. I lose trades as well. I get stopped out. Heck, once in a while I'll get liquidated if I don't have a stop loss set, right? But you could do this too. I am not special. This is why I teach this for free every day, because it's the DMs, it's the super chats, it's the regular chats of people saying, you helped me. I made money because I took what you taught and I applied it to my own strategy, or I applied it to my own chart, to my own asset that I was trading, and I made money. I understand the volume profiles. You changed my life. That's why I do this. I don't do this for likes. I don't do this for clicks. I don't do this for clout. I don't do this for YouTube revenue. We don't get paid basically anything from YouTube other than super chats. I do this because I genuinely like to help people, and I just know that, listen, if I could do it, you could do it. You could probably do it faster than I did. I was the worst trader alive when I started. If there was an experienced trader looking at me learn how to trade, they would have been like, there's no hope for this guy. He just keeps FOMOing. He keeps 100x. He keeps putting on 100x. He never sets a stop loss. He's trying to get rich overnight. He's chasing the money. But luckily, I think the edge that I had is that I'm just straight up thick-headed, guys. I didn't give up. I didn't care how much pain I felt. I was like, I'm going to figure this out or die, right? So, yeah, you could do this too. I promise you. I'm not special. Repetition, practice, never give up. Shout out to Dawn. Yeah, and I saw someone say this on Instagram, and really, I wanted to share it with you guys because it made a lot of sense. I did not make this up, but there was someone on a trader on Instagram that was saying that she doesn't really like to teach her friends how to trade anymore because every time someone says, "Oh, can you teach me how to trade?" she sits down, and after 15 minutes of her explaining something, they're just like, never mind. This is way harder than I thought. And I think that's most people's mentalities, right? It's going to take you. You're not going to get profitable in a week. You're not going to get profitable in a month. Very unlikely, right? It's going to take most people 6 months to 2 years to become profitable. But once you could figure it out, and if you stick it, like you could go to college for 4 years, right? And spend $100,000, $60,000, whatever your college costs, and then get a job and then pay off that debt. But when it comes to trading, people just want to watch one video, right, or watch one live stream or just learn one strategy or get one indicator and just get rich overnight. That's too good to be true. And I'll be the first person to tell you, this is why I like to be transparent. I could come up here and be like, oh, buy this indicator, it'll make you rich overnight, or join my Discord, it's going to get you rich overnight. I will never say that, right, because it's not the truth. But I know how trading can change your life, and I want to help as many people actually attain that. And that's why I don't do signals either, right, because it's just not how you teach someone how to make money consistently over time. If you want to be a consistently profitable trader, if you want to learn how to extract money from the market and you're willing to put in work, I can help teach you. Right, but I cannot help you get rich overnight. I cannot tell you an indicator that's going to, tell you when to buy and sell. It's not going to be easy. And at the end of the day, I could get more people in my Discord. I could get more likes on my videos. I could get more views if I took that stance, but I never will. It's dishonest, and I'm just not like that, right? So yeah, shout out to the CandleMafia. You guys turn up every day, and I see you guys out there making money. So yeah, just if you're out there and you're struggling trading, just understand. I struggled probably for 2 years almost. Maybe it's hard for me to know. I wish I tracked it better. Maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, where I was just getting absolutely dusted. Because I just kept repeating the same thing, right? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting the same result or a different result. I was 100% insane. I was doing that. And it wasn't until I got bored of getting wrecked that I decided to change something and actually use risk management and actually pay myself profit. So yeah, only way to fail is to give up. Consistency and discipline. Learning TA is easy. Managing the trade once you're in it is another story. Shout out to Big Huggies. That is the answer to the question. I would say TA, learning the charts, is 20% of it. Trading is a totally different skill. Emotion is involved. The management is very difficult. And that is really the difficult part. The TA, I could teach you very easily. But the trading is in your hands, right? That's why I don't do signals. I can give a signal and say, price is going to go up right now, buy. 99% of those people are not going to sell, and they're going to ride it back into the red because the TA was right, but managing the trade is a totally different story. I teach you how to manage the trade as well, but you might not be able to, again, you could know, hey, I should probably take profit at this level. You still might not do it. And the only way to learn that is to put money in the market and learn the hard lessons. You got to pay that market tuition, just like college. Except this job has no salary cap. But anyway, so where are we going down to? Shout out to Senza. I will say this. If we continue to the downside, we will be looking towards that 786. If you lose that anchored VWAP, we are going to be looking for long positions in the premium Discord. I was talking to them earlier today, kind of saying, same thing I pretty much said here in that specific case of just, not the most bullish signals here. We have money flow continuing to the downside on the 1 hour, right? You do have the bull divs forming, but you have money flow coming out. You have the 4 hour money flow coming out, just like I said in the beginning of the stream. And look what happened, right? We get a little bounce, but what happens? Lower high, lower low. We literally, or not lower low just yet, right? But with money flow coming out here, it just doesn't look, in my opinion, like the best area to get the big bounce from. So I do think we could potentially continue down a bit. Could you bounce off of here? Sure. Potentially. You might be able to get the bounce, but in my opinion, there's not a ton of confluence. If we come deeper, anchored VWAP sits right now at about $105,310. And if we lose that, just understand this is the zone that we will be looking at, right? 786 sitting at 104,231. What is this? Oh, I know why. Boom. That's why. So this is still the zone, right? As you know, yesterday, we looked for the lower high and the lower low based off our 4 hour money flow, hoping to come down to 105K. Here we are, right? We get stuck under this value area high, could go down to the 786, and then we'll cross that bridge if we have to go beyond that. But this is, hopefully, if we want price to go back up, this is going to be the area where we're looking for a bounce. But I'm going to let price action settle, and unless we get a dump overnight, we might have to let things settle down and then reassess things in the morning to see if we could take a long position. But yeah, other than that, we will see what happens. Take a look at the 16-hour real quick. Yeah, 4 hour money flow crossover into the red, even if we get a green dot, just like yesterday. Lower high and lower low was more likely. So if we get a bounce, that 4 hour green dot prints and the money flow is still coming out, we would anticipate higher, lower high, lower low to come back into that deeper blue box. So again, like I said, I am still holding my short position. I have not taken a long yet. But yeah, I'm probably going to take a little bit more profit on the short potentially here. But like I said, I am trailing my stop loss here into profit. I had it at break even previously. And then I'm just squeaking this to the downside as we go. Maybe I'll even drop this down a little bit lower. I don't want to leak my social security number here. I don't think there was anything there, but I always just get super, super nervous that I'm just going to leak shower pictures of myself or something. Not that I have shower pictures, but anyway, guys, with all that being said, that's all the time I got for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for smashing that like button. Just thank you for being, guys, thank you for being the best community out there. And hopefully this live stream every day helps if I could help one person out there learn how to do the TA or even just spark the curiosity to learn how to trade and change your life through making money trading Bitcoin, whether price goes up or down. I'm doing my job. So yeah, with all that being said, I can confirm Frankie is special. Shout out to Pitbull. Is that why I took a... Anyway. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel for 2 hours of TA, saucy levels. Nice to see everything play out today. And hopefully tomorrow we can be sitting at our next target, which, to be quite honest, I would say the next big target's going to be sitting at the 786 at $104,174. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated with market updates. If you have not already, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss this saucy TA. And until next time, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Shout out to Crypto Independent. Shout out to Tommy, Wayne C, Big Huggies, Remy, Stupid Bitcoin, Pratham, Erica, Crypto Independent. I don't know if I already shouted you out. And last but not least, Crypto Owl and Derelict. See you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
And guys, don't forget, if you want to learn how to use the anchored VWAP, I just dropped the link in the chat and pinned it to the top of the chat. Go check out that tutorial video that we dropped earlier today. Enjoy it. Drop a comment. Maybe I'll answer it. With all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out,